Hey, what's up everyone? It's Ryan Turley here, and I'm sure you clicked on this link because Thanksgiving's coming up, you've got your turkey, and you don't know what to do with it. Well, in just a few short minutes, I'm gonna show you exactly how to make the best turkey you've ever had. I'm gonna be using a Traeger pellet smoker, but you can just as easily do this in the oven as well. I'm gonna break it down for you. There are 4 key steps to getting this perfect turkey. First, we are gonna brine this bird overnight for about 12 hours. Second, we are going to take the bird out of the brine, pat it completely dry, and then let it sit out in the fridge uncovered for 24 hours. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna allow that skin to crisp up during the cook. Third is the seasoning. We're going to inject this bird with a butter rub combo. And then 4th step, we're gonna cook it. So you're gonna wanna start this whole process 2 nights before you want that bird to be finished. All right, so we're ready to jump into the brine.
This is one of my favorite blades. I've got a set of Damascus steel knives that I absolutely love.
So we've got our mise en place all set up, and mise en place in French means everything in its place. So I've got everything we need for this brine all diced up and ready to go. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup kosher salt. Next, we've got a 1.5 cups of apple cider. Then our fresh herbs. I've got a few sprigs of thyme and a few sprigs of rosemary, some bay leaves, a whole head of smashed garlic, 1 orange sliced, and 1 lemon sliced. This one happens to be pink. It's pretty sweet. Finally, we've got about a tablespoon of whole peppercorns and a teaspoon of cloves. All right, our brine has come to a boil. We removed it from heat immediately, and we are ready to add it to this stock pot to throw in the fridge, or you can add it to this brine bag and throw it in a cooler if you don't have room for it in your fridge. So this is basically a saturated brine that I'm gonna dilute here with some cold water that I've been refrigerating for a couple hours. So this is about 2 to 3 quarts here. And then I'm going to add another couple cups of ice here. And now we can add our brine mixture. So that ice is basically going to bring this brine down in temperature super quickly, so I can immediately add my turkey. Our brine has come down to 70 degrees or room temperature. It's safe to throw this turkey in. Okay, so I just pulled out the neck and the giblets here. So I'm actually gonna save these and use them in the gravy that I'm gonna make. So I am gonna add a little bit more liquid to it here. All right, so there we go. This bird is completely submerged in our brine. So the brine and turkey are in the fridge. They're gonna be chilling out in there for about 12 hours, and we'll see you tomorrow for step 2.
The next day.
All right, so we're in day 2. The bird has been brining for 12 to 15 hours. Like I said, you're gonna wanna brine it for 1 hour per pound. And I'm gonna pull it out of the fridge, pat it completely dry, and then put it back in the fridge uncovered. I've actually got my garbage positioned right underneath here. I'm gonna get some more paper towels here, and we're just gonna pat this dry as possible, just so that skin can begin to allow to crisp up in that overnight rest in the fridge. Now I am not gonna rinse this after the brine. I've found that the amount of salt that I've added to this bird is not gonna make it too salty. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna talk about the anatomy of the chicken. So first thing you're gonna wanna do is orient the neck This is the neck bone and it runs the spine down this way. So this is the back of your bird and I'm gonna cook it breast side up. So we're gonna throw it down this way on the smoker. Let's throw this in the fridge and we will catch up with you tomorrow for the smoke.
The next day.
All right, so we're finally to the day of smoking this bird. It's been sitting in the fridge uncovered for 24 hours. The skin has dried up. It's looking really nice. So after we get this bird stuffed, we are going to inject it with a butter maple syrup blend and add some of our seasoning. So for the seasoning, I'm gonna be using a pork and poultry Traeger rub. The major flavors here are apple and honey, and I think that's gonna go really nice just with all the flavors that we've got going here. So I'm gonna season this bird in the injection and then all over the outsides. All right, and we're ready to stuff this. I've got 2 onions, an apple, about 3 or 4 celery sticks, and 3 or 4 carrots, and then some herbs here. I've got your rosemary and thyme. Just use whatever you got, and I'm basically just gonna layer all of this in to the cavity. All right, I think we got this bird stuffed to the max here, so we're gonna move on to the injection. I've already melted down about 8 ounces of butter, and then we are gonna add roughly equal parts of maple syrup. And then we're also going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of our rub. And now to inject. So as you get going here, you're gonna see this whole bird plump up. And we just wanna make sure we hit every single section, the breast, the legs, the thighs, and the wings. So we are just gonna rub this bird down and just layer this entire thing, every nook and cranny with this Traeger pork and poultry rub. We're gonna get this backside here as well. All right, so be liberal with the seasoning. This is a huge bird and it can take all this seasoning. And finally, we are gonna tie these legs up just to keep everything nice and tight. All right, we got the Traeger grills heating up here. Once the startup mode finishes up, we're gonna bump this up to 350 degrees. Got a drip pan underneath the grill grate here just to catch any of those turkey drippings that we are going to be incorporating into a turkey gravy. All right, so the Traeger grill is all fired up to 350 degrees. I think I'm going to run at that temp the entire time. I'm shooting for about a 4-hour smoke. All right, so we just hit 150 degrees internal. This wing here was getting a little crispy, so I did wrap it up in foil. I've got that same injection left over, the maple butter and rub here. I'm just gonna now baste this entire bird with that right towards the end of this cook, right at that 150, 160 zone, because all the sugar in this maple syrup will brown this bird up quite a bit. And I'm just gonna wrap up this wing tip as well, just to protect that a little bit. As you can see, it's already very browned up and good to go, so. All right, and we made it. Check this out. This bird looks beautiful. That butter maple syrup glaze at the end there just made this so nice. It's got a nice crispy skin to it. I cooked it to a perfect 165 degrees internal in the breast, and it was about 170, 175 in the thigh and leg area, which is where all that dark meat is. Here's some of that breast meat. Wow. Super tender. It's falling apart. Look at that. That butter maple injection, I can taste it in every single bite. And that Traeger rub that we put on top and in the injection is amazing. It's got that touch of apple and honey. It's perfect. All right, for all the kings out there, here's that turkey leg. Unreal. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you do try your turkey this way, be sure to leave me a comment below, and I look forward to catching you guys next time. Thanks so much. Peace.